Oh, that's fine.
That's why it's on the book.
I see. Okay.
Scott, are you still with us?
So this information addresses, that's okay, addresses all. Is that correct? Okay. I just want to make sure that I'm on the right page.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Okay. We're gonna have Sarah
Begin?
start.
This is an administrative hearing being held on December 8th, 2025 in the Kosciuszko County Courthouse. This hearing is being live streamed. This hearing is being conducted pursuant to the laws of the state of Indiana as found in IC 6-1.1-1-1. The parcel numbers are 43-04-240-002.000-025, 43-04-400-090.000-025, 43-04-400-005.000-025, 43-04-240-400-006.000-025, 43-04-400-001.000-025, 43-04-24-400-003.000-025, 43-04-24-400-007.000-025, and 43-04-400-029.000-025. The property address is Woody's Lane, Syracuse. The property owners are Ronald and Betty Sombronsky, Andrew Roeder, Wells and Associates LLC, James and Patrice Marcaselli, and Wally LLC. The assessment year under appeal is 2025. Does everyone present agree the year under appeal is as stated?
Yes.
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 My name is Sarah Schloss, and I represent the assessor, who is the secretary to the Property Tax Board of Appeals. The persons representing the PTABOA are
Brock Ostrom.
Mike Settles.
Bill Olinger.
the person representing the county is,
Kathy Strange.
the persons representing the taxpayer are,
Got better off.
and are you the current property owner of the property?
No, I'm an attorney representing the property owners.
Okay. Will all persons who are or may be witnesses in this hearing please raise your right hand to be sworn? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Okay, if you would like to tell the board about the property and the reason for the appeal.
Okay. This one is obviously unique, I think probably to anything I've seen in my 30 years of property law. We have 8, we'll call them units, that are not lakefront, that were added to the condominium in 2005. What was somewhat unusual is typically when you see a condominium, a developer buys a piece of property, builds a building or buildings, and sells the existing units to buyers. In this case, you have the 5 lakefront units that were created in a condominium starting in 97 over time. And the developer went away, and then these 5 property owners acquired this non-lakefront property along Woody's Lane and subjected it to the condominium as units, even though 7 of 8 of them are unimproved, which is extremely unusual. And frankly, again, I haven't seen this before where, particularly in Indiana, where you've conveyed the right essentially to build a unit, but not an actual physical structure. Additionally, and I think importantly, within the bylaws of the condominium, when they added the non-lakefront units, they placed restrictions, which I submitted, which is in the amendment to the bylaws, which is document number 2005-1278. And in paragraph O, it states that no person shall be entitled to own a unit in phase 5, which is the non-lakefront properties, unless they're also owner of a unit in phases 1, 2, 3, or 4. And that is all of the 5 lakefront units. Prior to construction of any unit in phase 5, approval must be approval of style and construction approved by the board of directors. And then no unit in phase 5 can appear in the common area. So in this case, you have an extremely limited marketability because the only people who can own the backlot units are the ones who own the front. It has to be one of the other 4 who own the front units. And they already own them amongst themselves. So you have an extremely limited marketability of these properties to begin with. Then, if you look in the appraisals, and I think what's really is the most important part of each appraisal, and they're all very similar, is in the addendum, which is on page 8, and in that, the appraiser, Mr. Wagner, opines that the subject property. So each of these, we had the appraisals done of the lakefront. And the appraiser asked to do it that way because in his opinion, and I agree, the common area, all of the property is owned by the condominium as common area, and each owner of a unit owns a percentage within it. So in his opinion, that the non-lakefront units have no value until they would be improved. And that the value of the real estate is already contained within the ownership of the common area that goes with the 5 original units. And so at this juncture, the value that you're assigned at $60-some odd thousand per lot, or per unit, excuse me, per non-lakefront unit, is already included in the value of the common area as imputed through the ownership interest in the condominium. So I don't know if that's clear as mud, but that is like I said, a really unusual situation.
Mr. Federoff, I have a question. Correct me if
Certainly.
I'm wrong. So what I'm getting from your testimony here is that these non-lakefront units or properties are not exposed to a full market forces, but are, and so it's difficult to get a market value for them. Am I hearing that correct?
I would say it's twofold. One, there is the complete lack of marketability outside of the existing property owners. And then there's just the other part, which the appraiser speaks to, in that the values of the actual real estate, not improvements, but of the real estate is already encompassed within the ownership of the common areas via the ownership of the units A through E.
Thank
Which
you.
are the lakefront units. So for instance, if you take, I mean, it's very unusual in that all I have by deed in these units that are unimproved, all I have is the right to potentially build something within that envelope in the future. That's really all I've acquired. And I have to, I have to own the front, and I also still have to get approval of the board of directors to build whatever I want to build. So, because I don't know of a situation in Indiana where I've seen a conveyance of a unit that didn't exist physically.
Do you have any other questions?
None from me.
I have no questions.
I have no question.
Can I add one further comment real quick?
Sure.
One would be that the improved unit that Mr. Marcuselli owns, which is J, again, that value should be limited to the improvements on the property itself. That's the unit, and that should be just like the front units are. And that there's a small piece of property to the north of Mr. Marcuselli's unit, which is unit A, that he owns in fee, that's 6 feet wide. And the appraiser in the appraisal of the front unit, the lakefront unit, also indicates that that the value of that strip in his appraisal, he's including within the value of the front property. So I just wanted to point that's out, and that's in his appraisal as well within the addendum on page 8. And that's all I have.
Any additional questions? No.
I have nothing. County?
Okay.
The appraiser theory of limited commons ground having no value is debunked with this sale from, if we look at the map, she's going to pull it up. The end sale down here of the one, 25,000 in 2011. Marcuselli sold it to Wallace for $25,000. So for the appraiser saying there's no value to it, that's debunked when they purchased it for $25,000. Even though it is platted as condominiums, it's very similar to single-family residence with off-water parcels. We can show the lakefront owners will pay for off-water parcels for an accessory lot. And we show it right here when he paid $25,000 for it in 2011. Even though it's commons ground all the way around it, that square within there is limited commons ground, which means it's only usages for the unit owner. And they have the full usage of it. Please refer to Exhibit B. This explains the off-water pricing and is an indicator of the value of use to the lakefront owners.
I don't have an exhibit.
It was sent to them. Excuse me?
I don't have any exhibits.
You don't have a copy of this?
Nothing I only have what I submitted.
This was sent to you on May 27th, 2025. Says Lake Wawasee off-water lots.
I have to look. I do not have it in front of me, but
Okay.
Go ahead, Kathy.
This is showing the average linear foot value of those off the water. It's 2021 through 2024 sales. And then the second one is the Turkey Creek off lake lots, 23 through 24 sales. It's showing an average square foot and a medium square foot and an average linear foot value. The linear foot value is $2,930.92. The next one is the off-water parcels along Woody's Lane, value based on Wawasee, Syracuse off-water rates. The average of all the lots is 100 foot, and actual is 100 foot. Effective is 145 depth. And that shows you the values that they were selling for. On the last page is just the, HEA 1499 Governor Enrolled Act, stating that if the appraisal is not for the actual tax appeal and not for the actual parcel that's under appeal, it cannot be used for the appeal process. The information on the appeal states the following. The property is a parcel of land that is 8 feet wide, which is non-buildable. Further, with only 8 feet of frontage on Lake Wawasee, the parcel is not wide enough to safely install a pier under DNR regulations that require at least 10 foot of lakefront. This is a 10-foot lakefront strip of land, not part of Wawasee Overlook condominiums. See attached deed with shoreline underlined in red. Lot currently has a minus 25% restriction influence factor. There's a hidden memo dated 9/9, about PTABOA had given an additional 25% for unbuildable. But if you go, there's a deed in here, and the deed calls out for 10 foot wide. It's not 8 foot, it is 10 foot.
You said May 27th.
The date on that is May 27th.
And it was sent how?
I'm guessing that she sent it via email. That would be the assessor. She was the one dealing with you, I guess.
Okay, I have no emails on May 27th from
Okay,
the assessor, nor have I ever seen any of these exhibits.
okay.
And in fact, I mean, last week I even asked if there were gonna be any exhibits. So I could get copies.
You asked me that?
I said it in an email. I said, are there gonna be any exhibits for me to look at for the hearing? But I absolutely have nothing on the 27th. I'm looking at every single email, spam, everything.
I don't know how you want to proceed then. You want to reconvene on the 15th? I don't know what you want me to do. I assumed you already got all these.
No, I absolutely have not.
Oh, okay. I just talked to the training department and she believes they were mailed in the mail.
I didn't receive them.
So they would have been mailed to what address, please?
The address that's on the Form 130
Which
to
is,
Mr. Scott. It would be 14033 Illinois Road, Suite A, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46814.
That's my address, and I did not receive anything.
Is it appropriate for me to make a suggestion at the moment?
Absolutely.
My suggestion is that we re-email or physically mail this evidence so that Mr. Federoff has an opportunity to look it over and then he can respond to it. There's not a need for another hearing, but we can, we can look at it once we receive it. That makes sense.
You'd like a written response?
Correct.
After you've seen
That's
the,
fine.
or after you've gotten the evidence, would you like to respond with an email to the board and have them review it?
That would be perfect.
Would that be all right?
That would be fine.
could you do that within a week, since we're gonna meet a week from today? So these documents will be
I
emailed
will email them.
to Mr. Federoff today. Is that
Correct.
correct?
Yes.
So, we'll give you until a week from today, Mr. Federoff, to submit a written response.
Mhm.
Have that information by 9 o'clock, a week from today. We'll make our decision based on the information we have. Fair enough?
Fair enough. Appreciate your accommodation.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any additional
No,
questions?
I'm still doing- sorry.
Kathy, continue. You were
let's
on
see, this is
Exhibit
not market
C.
value, okay.
Are you done with C?
Yes, we did find an error on the, oh, and I did want to say, let's see. Okay. When we look at the appraisals are done for market value. I do not believe it was market value in use. In use is to the owner. To the owner, these lots that are off the water like that, give them additional access to build a garage on it, it's worth something. It's market value in use. Exhibit C, the appraiser calls out for the 8-foot strip, which I stated, there's a deed attached, and it shows that it is actually a 10-foot strip. And we gave an additional minus 10% for shape and size. And the last comp has more influence due to the water. Exhibit D, these are a lot like the Exhibit D, I'm sorry, these are a lot like the subjects. They don't own to the water's edge due to the commons ground in front of them, but it's still, they still sell like the rest of them that owns to the water's edge. They have the view, they have the full access, the water. Even though they can't build on it, they still have easement right away. The regime calls out in Exhibit E, the regime calls out for limited commons area, not for the use of all, but to the use of the unit owner only. So how is this only different? So how is this any different than any single family residence out there? And again, I reiterate, a market value use. Market value and use, the property owners already own the water or own the properties that are on the water, and there is value in those off the water lots because they can put additional garages on them with living above it. And the sale on there of 25,000 in 2011 is an indicator. And that's all I have for you today.
Thank you. I have nothing else for either Mr. Federoff or the county until we receive response from Mr. Federoff next week.
I have no questions.
I have no question.
Mr. Federoff, do you have anything further?
Nothing further.
The proceedings are now concluded. The cause is adjourned until further order. The PTABOA may inspect the subject property and consider the evidence presented or requested. No additional evidence will be accepted for consideration unless that evidence has been requested during the hearing held today. As soon as we can, we will mail you a Form 115 to let you know the board's decision. If you disagree with that decision, you have the right to file a Form 131 with the state. This hearing is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.